Hello, welcome to another taste of work in the light. Now, have you ever worked all in on a project only to have your efforts overlooked? That's probably one of the most difficult experiences to weather in the world of business. And if it happens too often, you're probably considering looking for another place to work. Well, in God's kingdom, all effort is noticed and rewarded. It's something that we need to bring into our business practices. And the Old Testament writer who penned Psalm 23 said, "The Lord is my shepherd." And then he said this, "He anoints my head with oil, my cup overflows." Now, without the cultural context of these two things, it can only sound like an oily, sloppy mess. So let's dig in a little deeper to hear what the psalmist is talking about. So, while the prepared table of our last taste of the work spoke to a group celebration, oil and a cup speak to a celebration of an individual, a single person. Now, ancient hospitality customs demanded certain rituals. First, guests always had their feet washed by a servant when they came in. But the next thing speaks to the oil in the cup. You see, valued guests had a bit of oil poured on their heads. Ancient, and that sounds pretty weird to us, I know, but ancients and early Mideast cultures valued a shiny look of their hair and their facial skin. So, depending on the importance of the guest and also probably the wealth of the host, the oil could be simply olive oil or oil fused with spices to create a unique scent, like a perfume. The aromas gave away both the quality and the cost of the oil, which also said a lot about the person wearing it. In fact, in elite settings, the oil would also have gold flake in it, all of which put the status of the individual on display. Let's take a look at the overflowing cup. An overflowing cup is more personal and less a statement to others. Wine, like oil, was almost always a symbol of celebration, and to have your cup filled to overflowing meant that your host wasn't skimping on anything. They were celebrating you being with them, you as a person of import to them, lavishly. They weren't cutting back on any of the expenses. So, what does that look like in the realm of modern business? I think this parallels recognizing and rewarding someone on your team who has excelled in performance or maybe in effort. The oil reward is not only for the individual, but it also lets everyone else on the team know of their recognition as well. The overflowing cup would parallel a lavish personal reward. It's a sense of rewarding someone over and above what they deserve. I recently heard of a corporate leader who passed out $5 gift cards to their staff after they had kept the business going during COVID. The gesture was so painfully inconsiderate and small that it would have been far better for the boss to shake everyone's hand and just thank them for their efforts. Dr. Gary Chapman, I believe this quote is from him, author of the 5 Love Languages, made the observation that a person may take a job for money, but they'll leave it for a lack of recognition. So, who's on your team that needs recognition? Is it in the office? Maybe it's in your home. But if you're a work in the light as a leader, if you're a work in the light leader, make sure that you publicly and personally celebrate the efforts of teammates, team members. Oh, and by the way, be lavish about it. Don't be a cheapskate. Until we talk again, work in the light.